Hi, Class 1. So this week we're going to do something really fun. We are going to learn how to write a story, and you are going to write your very own story. But first, you know that Madam Colleen loves stories. So I'm going to start out today's lesson reading you this story called The Red Hen. Now, before I read this story to you, I want you to kind of have something in mind. So every good story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So the beginning is what happens first in the story. Okay, that's the beginning of the story. Sometimes at the beginning it tells you who's in the story, where the story is, and what the problems are in the story. And then there's the middle of the story. And the middle of the story is kind of what all of the things that happen. And then how does the story end? What is the end of the story? And that is what happens last. And usually when I read a story, I always end the story saying the end, because that's the last thing that happens. So every story has a beginning that happens first. The middle of the story is kind of the main part of the story where things happen, and that's what happens next. And then the end of the story is what happens last. So as we are reading today's story, I want you to think about what is the beginning of the story, what is the middle of the story, and what is the end of the story. And then today, after we do this, I'm going to show you how I want you to write your very own story. All right, so here we go with our story. This story is called The Red Hen by Rebecca Emberly and Ed Emberly. One beautiful morning, the red hen found a wonderful recipe for a cake. This would be a great treat for all of us, she thought. This cake should be baked. Who will help me gather the ingredients? She asked. Not I, said the cat. Not I, said the rat. Ribbit, said the frog. All right then, I shall do it by myself. And she did. Now I have everything we need. Who will help me mix the cake? She asked. Not I, said the cat. Not I, said the rat. Ribbit, said the frog. All right then, I shall do it myself. And she did. Now the cake is all mixed. Who will help me bake the cake? She asked. Not I, said the cat. Not I, said the rat. Ribbit, said the frog. All right then, I shall do it myself. And she did. The cake came out of the oven golden and sweet. Who will help me ice the cake? She asked. Not I, said the cat. Not I, said the rat. Ribbit, said the frog. All right then, she sighed. I will do it myself. And she did. Now the cake is iced. Who will help me decorate the cake? She asked. But she pretty much knew what was coming. Not I, said the cat. Not I, said the rat. Ribbit, said the frog. All right then, I shall do it myself. And she did. This cake looks splendid, the red hen said. Who will help me eat the cake? I will, said the cat. I will, said the rat. Ribbit, 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 said the frog. Humph, said the red hen. I think I will eat it myself. And she did. I hope you enjoyed that story. It's a very famous story that has been told many times in many different stories. But I really like the pictures in this story. I hope you did too. So I hope you were thinking as I was reading the story about the beginning of the story. So at the beginning of the story, that's the very first part of the story, we see that a hen found a recipe for a cake. And then so the character in the story is the hen, and then the animals, you have the cat, the rat, and the mouse. The cat, the rat, and the frog are the characters in the story, along with the red hen. And that's the beginning of the story. So those are the characters, and that's what's happening. And what's happening in the middle of the story? In the middle of the story, she's asking them for help, and they don't want to help. So that's what's happening in the middle of the story. So then as they're not getting help, they're not helping, she's getting angrier and angrier and frustrated that they're not helping, and then at the end of the story, what happens? The cake is finished at the end of the story, and she's ready to eat it. Now, what happens at the end? Does she share it with them? No, because they didn't help at all. So that is the end of the story. So today, I want to do one more example, and we'll do it together. This is a workbook that I have at school with me. So let's look at this snowman, all right? So what is the first thing that happens if you wanted to draw a snowman or build a snowman? The first thing you have to do is build a ball at the bottom, like build a big base, a big round part for the bottom of the snowman. Now, so then here in this picture, they wrote the number 1. That's what happens first. F-I-R-S-T, first. So then look at these pictures. What do you think happens second or next? What do you think happens next after this first one? Look at these 3 pictures. This one happens next. So this is the second thing that happens. All right? So then you build the middle part of the snowman and you put the 3 buttons on it. Then what do you think happens next? So we have the bottom of the snowman, the middle of the snowman. What do you think happens next? This one or this one? I think it's this one, right? So this is also in the middle of the story. It's what happens third. And what do you think is the end? What is the end of building a snowman? What's the last thing you do? Is decorate him, right? You put the nose and the eyes and the scarf and the arms. That's the last thing that happens, all right? So first, next, then, and last. And so you have to have a story that makes sense. So today, I want you to get ready with your English notebook, okay? And if you've lost this notebook, I have put these worksheets at the end of the lesson for you to do them. So if you've lost the pages, then it's also at the end of the lesson. So turn to page 111, 111, or the printing page is page 30, but it's kind of in the middle towards the back of your book, and I wrote page 111 on the bottom. So let's read the directions together. It says, what is a story? What is a story? Look at these pictures. Write beginning. Here's the spelling for beginning. Middle or end under the correct picture. So I'm going to get closer to these pictures and let's look. Which one do you think is beginning, middle, and end? So this is the beginning, right? He's holding the ball and he's about to shoot it in the basket. So on the line, with good handwriting, write beginning. And the spelling is there. Then look at the pictures again, and what do you think happened next? What is the next or the middle thing that happened? Middle spelling is there. What's the middle thing? The ball is in the air, right? He throws the ball. So then you'll write middle here on this line. And then the last thing that happens, the end, is that he made the basket. So then you'll write last, or end, sorry, I made a mistake. Write end on the line. So after you've looked at the picture and thought about what's the beginning, what's the middle, and what's the end, here read these directions. It says, now write the story that these pictures tell. Write 1 sentence for the beginning of the story. Write 1 sentence for the middle of the story and write 1 sentence for the end of the story. So, which one's the beginning? Right here. You could even say, so think of a sentence that matches this first picture and write it on the first line. The boy throws the ball. You could write that here. Or think of your own sentence. The ball is in the air. The boy makes a goal. Or whatever. Think of your own sentence and write 1 sentence for each picture. So 1 sentence here on this line, 1 sentence here on this line, and 1 sentence here on this line to match these pictures. The beginnings of the story, the middle of the story, the end of the story. Now remember, when you are writing a sentence, that a sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. So that's really important to remember, boys and girls. When you're writing a sentence needs to make sense. It's a group of words, a bunch of words together that you write it together, it makes sense, and you begin a sentence with a capital letter and you end the sentence with a full stop or a period. All right? So then finish this page. All right? I helped you finish the top of the page. Now you finish the bottom of the page and you can send me a picture. And I also didn't show you this page, but this is also part of your homework too, is to look at page, it's page 110 in your English worksheets book, okay? 110, and it looks like this, all right? And it has beginning, middle, and end. So look at the pictures, write the picture that's the beginning picture, write the word middle for the middle picture, and write the word end for the end picture. I forgot to go over that with you, but you can do that on your own, all right? And then the last part of today's assignment is to write your own story. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to put the book on the table and show you how to do it. So on page 112, it says, what is a story? Let's read the directions. Think of 3 things that happen in order. You might think about 3 things that you do at school each day. You might think about something you do with a pet or with a friend. Draw 3 things that happen in order. So you're going to draw the first thing you do, the second thing you do, and the last thing you do. Like you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you eat breakfast. Those are 3 things that you do. Or you could draw, you plant a seed, you water a seed, a flower grows. I want you to think of 3 things that happen in order. And this one will be what happens first at the beginning, what happens next in the middle, and what happens last at the end, all right? Now, so draw a picture of your story here. Now, tell your story. Tell what happens at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. Make your story fun to read. Remember to leave a space between each word. So, this first picture, write 1 sentence about it. This second picture, write 1 sentence about it. And this last picture, write 1 sentence about it. And remember to leave a space between each word, begin with a capital letter, and end with a full stop. And then send your work to Madame Colleen. All right, great job. So I hope that you can write a very interesting story. So draw 3 pictures and write 3 sentences about something that happens in order. You can think of it yourself. And if you are struggling and you don't have any ideas, you can always send me a message. I can try to help you. All right? So good job, boys and girls. Be sure to do your work well. I miss all of you, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye.